everyone, welcome to our latest video. Today we are going to talk about a haunted house because today I am going to eradicate the entities from a haunted house. I hope that's my plan, at least that's the goal. So today I am going to go to someone's house and I am going to see why they are feeling fearful at night, why they have activity there. I am so excited. I always get so excited when this is something I get to do because to my mind, this is something that I'm doing for someone that will immediately impact them, the dead person and the living. So, the dead person. Why the devil would someone haunt somewhere? What happens? How does someone become a haunting entity? Well, that's a really tough one for me to answer, and in fact, I am not going to answer it alone in any way, shape, or form because I don't entirely know. What I do know is that when I go into a haunted house, the amount of time that the entity has been there or the dead person has been there varies. So one example I do have of a gentleman who passed away in his home, and it was not a pleasant thing for him. So with that passing and being all alone when it happened and not being found for such a long time, may have made, or whatever was going on in the man's head at the time, may have made it so that his passing was not a gentle one where he actually found the door and found his way to the other side. Instead, I don't know if it's an unrealization of the fact that they're gone, or if it's just so many unrealized things here, or unfinished business, and we all know that one, don't we? That keeps him here, keeps his spirit here. So when I entered that house where that man passed away, not only did I find though that that man's spirit was being kept there, but I also found that there was a myriad of spirits that he and his family had dealt with for generations within the house. And sometimes, well, the people who owned the house at the time were not of his generations. They were not of his family. So all of this was very foreign to them and very disconcerting. Not only that, but a member of their family was very much like me. He was an unrealized medium or unrealized psychic, and he was attracting this as well. Because if you have lived in more than one haunted house, it might be your fault. It might be something that you are attracting to you because nothing happens randomly. Everything has a reason behind it. There actually are not any coincidences that I have seen. Everything actually has a pattern around it. So a haunting has a pattern as well. And because the dead actually walk among us all of the time, to have a haunting where you have a spirit that is interacting with you and possibly interacting with you in a way that frightens you or makes you feel unsafe, then that spirit is feeding off of you. They are trying to make you scared because every time you get frightened, they get stronger. Each and every time they make you feel as though you are in peril or you are unsafe or you are creeped out, they actually gain power off of that. So darn impossible to not be creeped out by them when you're not ready for them though. I have lived in a haunted house, so duh, but man, oh man, the spirit that we lived in would call our voice, we call our name in another person's voice of the household. It would create smells. It would make scratching sounds on the walls. It was aggressive and it wanted us to know it was there. It wanted to frighten us because sometimes they do. Sometimes, actually, I have seen good dead people get trapped by these things. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if they start out as dead people and then the longer they are stuck in this realm in between places, that they become more and more and more and more distorted, and then they become something that's completely different than what they were when they crossed over, or if when sometimes there is an earthbound spirit, like when you have a bug infestation. If you have bugs that are being able to get in, then other types of vermin will most likely be able to get in as well, because there is a crack in the foundation. That crack in the foundation can be metaphysical. It can actually have something to do with the land you're on. It can have something to do with the inhabitants of the household, and it can have something to do with the household itself. There are so many different types of hauntings, and we will go through each and every one of them, and each and every one of them will get their own video. The purpose of this particular video is to talk about what I'm going to do today. So what am I going to do? I am going to take myself salt. I'm going to take bags of salt with me so that I have something to combat the evil with. Somehow, some way, salt seems to dilute or repel or create a barrier for bad energy. It can actually also take away energies that you don't want to have around you, really. And that doesn't have to mean that they're bad energies. They can be superfluous energies. Sometimes I don't clear myself well enough after I've done a series of readings, and I still have all this energy on top of me, which can actually become physically daunting, can make me sad, can make me feel paranoid, can make me actually feel like something's out to get me and looming over top of me, because in fact it is, and because I'm human, I take it to a negative place rather than a positive place. So I have to be careful to clean myself off all of the time. So when I go to clear a haunted house, I take with me salt. I take this basket in particular. Inside this basket, I keep my bags of salt. These bags of salt are what I use as I walk throughout the house. I drop them where I go and have them collect the energy for me. Now, I'm not alone when I'm doing this. I do this with every piece of positive energy I possibly can muster, and that would be me giving into knowing that I am just a tiny little human being, and that the gifts that have been bestowed upon me, because they have been given and bestowed upon me, well, they are from a higher power, and I serve that higher power. And so when I go to do something, I gotta put my arrogance way over there and bring those higher powers with me, because I don't do this alone. I am just the physical representation of what I am doing. As I walk back through the house, I gather up those bags of salt and take them home with me, where I bless them or clear them at home, because I have no fear when it comes to this. I am not afraid of those things that I walk into the house. I can't see them, and I know how creepy they are and how they just get right under your skin a little bit, but I cannot allow myself to become afraid, because if I'm afraid, I'm no help to anyone. In fact, then I'm just right back into the soup with everybody else. So I have to stay on the brim so that I can see what's going on and feel as though I am, please wait for it, above it all. And above it all, I hope you know what I mean by that. Pulling myself out of the situation so I can see it clearly, so I'm not emotionally affected by it. I shall report back to you on how we did. I will not reveal anything about the house, and I will not videotape it. The only way in which I would videotape myself doing a house clearing is if the homeowner initiated the idea. I feel very uncomfortable about initiating such an idea for somebody else. But if you have a haunted house and you would like me to clear it and you want to be on a video, then you are more than welcome to message me. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it may have helped you to understand some things that might be happening in your home. I will be doing more and more and more videos on hauntings and what they're like, and how we can have different types of hauntings and different types of energies in our home, because nothing is a coincidence and everything happens for a reason. I can be reached at trinityyogaandspiritualservices.com, trinityyogaandspiritualservices.com. I'm on Instagram at Bobbi Rowntree, and I'm on Facebook at Bobbi Rowntree Spiritual Medium. I hope you have a lovely day. I really do. Namaste.